As Coach settles in, we'll start questions to coaches left with Paul.
Coach, I asked Serge if he felt like he was starting to get a little bit more comfortable with this style of basketball, and of course he said he has, and it's kind of starting to slow down a little bit for him. But you see the same things from him with each game moving forward?
I was happy for him. You know, he was obviously more than solid tonight, and you guys that have been following us know we've struggled at times with, you know, who should be in the rotation at some of those spots, and he plays a spot that we struggle with at times, and it's not as solid as they would like or probably that we would like. And he made a strong case that he needs to be, you know, for the short term at the minimum, a guy that is playing more minutes than maybe he had. And, you know, he's such a fun kid to coach. He's a throwback, you know, about, you know, whatever you need, coach. Whatever you need, I'll do. And he means it. Like, he really, really means it. He's super coachable and competes, and certainly he's not perfect like any of our players are, but he's got a high want to part of him.
We'll go to coaches right with Jacob.
Coach, Jabboy didn't get any minutes in the second half. Was there an injury, or kind of what went into the decision there?
Yeah, he obviously was sick. It's been well documented in Utah. And he was still battling that a little bit. It's, you know, obviously a lot of travel to and from, time zone change differences. And then he had a banged up ankle as well. So word was he was ready to go. You know, he practiced yesterday, but he had some subs, didn't go quite as many reps. And then shoot around, it seemed like he was good to go. I was told he was good to go. And then played the first half, and I was getting ready to sub him in the second half, and I was told right before I went down to sub him in that he was out. I think there was probably 15 minutes left in the game because of his ankle, and I just walked down and said, "So you can't, you're done, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't." So he had a shoe off, and so that was something that we didn't plan for and didn't know, and so our rotations all of a sudden had to change quickly, and that's when I subbed Delquan in and into the game after not playing in the first half. I put him in a pretty tough spot that way, but you know, that happens, and you got to try to figure it out.
We'll go second row behind Jacob to Danny P.
Coach, just in the short term, y'all have been able to make the plays, Utah game and tonight, to get a win. I know it's they're tough games still, but how's it feel to be able to get those, and what are you seeing out there?
I mean, winning's hard. Every coach will tell you that. I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times, and it is. We had great respect for LIU coming in. I mean, the film jumped out at us. I mean, they're 6-4, and they got really good players, and they got big guards. They got a lot of in-between guys. They play very aggressively. They play with a brashness and a confidence in them, and I told them for 48 hours, like, understand what's walking in the door. And they don't care about what league you play in or what's on the front of your chest. They're coming in here trying to win like everybody is, but they got a swagger to them. And but you know, winning, I thought getting off to a good start was going to be a key factor, like most teams, especially when you're on the road. If it doesn't go your way, sometimes that takes away some of that brashness and confidence, and it did, but we just weren't able to hold them down. So credit to them for fighting back and obviously making a game, you know, after the first, 8 minutes, the rest of the night.
We'll go front row middle to Sam, and then we'll head back to Jacob.
A handful of these games against mid-major teams have been pretty close or have come down to the finish. Is that a concern for you right now, the way these games are playing out?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm concerned about every game we play in, and trying to get better and play better longer and have as good a result as we can. But, you know, we're just going to keep working and grinding and tinkering and developing our players and getting to play, you know, whatever our potential is for this unit. We're going to try to get as close to that potential as we can, you know, with every team that we've ever coached. That's the, you know, job description, and we'll continue to try to do that. Certainly, you know, Saturday's game will look a lot different than it did today with the quality of players and the athletes and, you know, the skill level that they're bringing to town. And certainly, you know, the SEC is, you within eyesight now. But as you well know, we take it one game at a time, and we're going to learn and grow from this and continue to try to get to that level.
I think this is the 6th or 7th straight game. Both Epps and Hubbard have both scored in double digits. How have you seen those guys kind of play together and gel together on the offense end?
Yeah, it's just we've had some games where they both weren't out there, and that's not nearly as much fun when they're not both available. But they're learning to play with each other, and it's hard to guard both of them when they're out there. They had some good moments together tonight, and we had played with that 3-guard lineup quite a bit against Utah, and unfortunately we didn't get to do that quite as much tonight with Jabori not being able to go in the second half. But they're definitely starting to learn to play off of one another.
We'll go second row middle to Brian.
23 of 30 from the free throw line tonight, 77%. I know you had to be pleased with that number.
I was.
Was being aggressive and getting to the line part of the game plan coming in?
It was. It's the first thing I told the players. I'm like, hey, man, 23 for 30. Okay, people won't be, emailing me asking to be the free throw coach this week. I was happy for that. Like, we work on it, and, and they knocked them down. We had some big ones. We made a lot of free throws, if I'm remembering correctly, down the stretch. But we definitely, our mindset was probably more this game than any other game that we played, that they didn't have a lot of rim protection. They weren't, obviously as big as some other teams were playing, but it was try to get to the rim, try to get to the paint as many times, as much as we could, try to win the free throw game. And obviously we did that.
All right, we'll see you guys Thursday. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Thursday.